May 14th, 2012. Welcome once again to the most badass podcast that has been done in a German living room. Well, we're probably the only one that does one in a German living room. That's right, May 14th, 2012. We're here to talk today about the legendary Game 7, both the Eastern and Western Conference Finals, and a bunch of other wonderful things that I'm sure are going to broaden your horizons. I'm here with my co-host, Dead on Dave, who is sick and ill, and he is a trooper, and he is with us now. Dead on Dave?
Yes, sir. Yes, you dragged me out of bed, so this better be good. Let's have some fun today.
Well, that's all right, because I just got home from work, and I need to sleep, and I'm probably only get 4 hours sleep because I'm doing this, but we got to knock it out because I had a wonderful internet outage yesterday, so we couldn't knock it out.
So sweet. This will be like the Walking Dead of hockey podcasts. This will be a good time.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm sure we'll get some. I got a story for you, by the way.
Oh, I'm always loving the story.
You know, you were talking about the war on masculinity, and I think I saw a visual, a metaphor for the war on masculinity. I'm with my daughter, and we're walking through what she calls a Playplatz or Spielplatz playground, and I see a bunch of these kids, and they're lined up. They're supposed to be in a line, and they all have their school bags and stuff for, I don't know what they were doing because it was a weekend. Was it Friday? No, it was Friday, so they're probably getting out of school. And there's this one Turkish kid in the middle surrounded by German girls, right? Uh-huh. And each one of them is taking a turn kicking this poor chubby kid. You know, he's the fat kid getting picked on, and it's a riot.
Flashback.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a riot. Because he appears, because, you know, I don't speak Turkish or German. Well, not German well, anyway. And he appears to be...
He was probably saying, please stop kicking me.
Yeah, well, he seemed to be trying to explain himself. That's the thing that gets me. He would get kicked, he would turn to the girl that kicked him and start talking, and then somebody else would kick him. It was like that old Bugs Bunny cartoon where, like, Red Hot Rider and Bugs Bunny come and kick you in the ass, and then he'd turn around and he'd kick you in the other side of the ass. It was fantastic. So I'm watching this whole thing and taking it in and what's going on, and then something came to my head. I'm the only adult in the area, and I have my little daughter right next to me watching this poor kid get kicked for, I'm sure, the stupidest reason you can imagine. So because you figure, I'm a big believer in the bully syndrome, where I think a lot of these kids that go up and blow up schools and what have you. I think one of the reasons, look, kids are going to be kids. They're going to be mean and nasty, and that's just a part of growing up. I always blame the teachers. And I'm sure the teachers were smoking cigarettes on the other side of the place talking about the Eurozone crisis and not watching this poor kid get kicked, right? Yeah. So I realized I'm the only adult here. I can't sit there and let my daughter see this poor kid get kicked without them some kind of,
without doing something, yeah.
Yeah, without doing something. And then, so when I went there, I was like, what would my dad do, What would Dad do in this situation? So I started thinking to myself, I said, this is what my dad would do. He would say something. So I just looked at him, not being able to really come up with anything else, and this is what my dad and my grandfather, I looked at him in my deepest East Coast accent, hey, knock it off! In English, I said this, of course. So the kids got really scared. I parted the sea like Moses, they all moved aside. And the Turkish kid was so scared. I think he thought I said, get out of the way. I want to kick him.
Yeah, I'm next in line.
He looked terrified. And so I kind of walked through it. And the reason I did it was not just to be a wise guy. I wanted to show my daughter that you can't kick kids. And I can't stand the whole bully thing. And I do. I think what happens is these kids go off, and then they go off and they get treated and the teachers don't do anything because, let's face it, they probably don't like the fat kid either. And they grow up and they kill 14 people. So maybe I saved some lives yesterday. What do you think?
It's very possible. Speaking as a said fat kid, I have been that kid being kicked on the playground. But when I was a lot younger and fatter, well, I'm fat now, but I was in that same position. So, but I didn't go and blow up schools. I didn't shoot people. I may have thought about it, but I never shot anybody. Now,
no, sure.
I think it's important that there's a direct correlation between between that whole bully mentality. Mm-hmm. and your upbringing. I mean, stars have to align for someone to go ape shit enough to go ahead and start capping people.
And you're probably got to be pretty crazy to begin with. But
yeah,
I mean, my thing is the kids are going to be the kids. Kids are kids are cruel. They're just until they're kind of shaped and realize that it doesn't really benefit anybody to be cruel, or would they get treated cruelly themselves?
I don't know. You and I, after spending 9 years in the Army, man, some people don't grow up and they just think you can be cruel the entire time.
Well, that's another conversation completely. I did 7 years, and that's another conversation because the Army is a perpetual adolescence.
It is. It's like grown-up high school.
Forever. It's great.
Not even college. It's just grown-up high school.
It's senior year for the next 20 years.
Senior year? Some of our colleagues a little bit too much credit.
Yeah, well...
That's not saying I don't appreciate everything that I did and everybody has done in the military, because I have. But anyone who served, you know exactly what we're talking about. It is a fraternity of junior high school kids running around, still being... Everybody has a rock-hard penis in either a literal or a metaphorical capacity in the Army.
Sure. And that's why I dream about going back every night. But that's another thing. So I don't really know what that has to do with the war on masculinity. I just thought I'd bring it up, and I think it was.
No, I think it's a good. It's a good visualization of what women do to men on almost a daily basis.
Yeah, sure. You kick, you get kicked, and then you turn around and say, "Hey, what the hell was that?" And then somebody else comes around and kicks you. Yeah, it's absolutely.
Yeah, but usually, unfortunately, the faces belong to the same woman kicking you from all directions.
Well, that Turkish kid will grow up and probably
marriage.
That Turkish kid will grow up and have like 3-4 wives or whatever he's gonna do, and he'll get his revenge one day.
Be an Ayatollah somewhere.
Good. I'm glad. I mean, you know what? That's the one thing. Maybe Sharia law has some reasons. I'm just kidding.
I'm sure he'll be listening to this one day, smoking a cigarette, putting it out in some poor guy's skull.
I really should. I know I'm getting in trouble for that one.
I may have just crossed the line.
I think we both did.
That's okay, though.
Maybe we should talk about something we know a little bit about. Let's talk about. Well, first, before we go in and get to the next series, let's talk about Game 7 of Rangers Caps Game 7, and I know you missed some of it. I'm sure you read the articles and what have you. But I'll just give you a briefing because I like I said, I know you've been sick. The Rangers came out on all cylinders, and what they did is they put tons and tons and tons of pressure on the Caps that they didn't expect. I really think my the home ice prediction or home ice theory was really in effect. That the Garden was rocking. And it's just a tough place to play. Jason Chimera was nowhere to be found. He was a big factor the whole series. I mean, but the Rangers were firing. They managed to pull it out and go to the next round. But I tell you something, and I know I'm going to piss off all my Ranger friend buddies. They are the luckiest team to ever advance to the Eastern Conference Final. I've never seen a team this lucky for this long. And the fact of the matter is, it's more than likely going to come to an end in the next round, and I'll tell you why. Because they essentially have played 15 games of hockey, and they're only the second way through the series. You don't see that problem in LA. You see that problem. And you know what? The Devils were pretty much doing the same thing in the first round. They seem to have gotten their shit together. The Rangers... how much? What are they going to do? Are they going to play every? And I'm basically probably going to take the Rangers in 7 in the next one because that's the only way I think they can beat the Devils is in 7 games. I don't think. I mean, or is anybody realistically, except like the most diehard Ranger nut job, we can sweep the Devils? I mean, get out of town.
I think there's another way to look at this. First, you're absolutely right about the home ice advantage. I mean, 5-0 all-time Game 7s at Madison Square Garden. I'm not a big fan of those type of stats, but you know what? It's relevant here, and it could matter in this next round as well. Mm-hmm. Aside from Game 7, you're absolutely right. They were the luckiest team walking. I watched the highlights. I didn't get to watch it live, unfortunately, but they played a really, really good game of hockey in Game 7. They played very well, and the Caps just didn't look like they were ready for it. Yeah. But aside from that, absolutely, they were so lucky that they should be sending a flower basket to Joel Ward. I mean, it was crazy, but. Yeah. Now, they played 2 quality opponents in 2 series. I can't say that about New Jersey. They struggled in the first round.
Who did they play in the first round?
A lifeless team in the Flyers in the second round. And
they played the Conference.
If they think they're just going to be going against a Rangers team that's just going to be walking in. No. If you think that, you need to go back and watch that video of these two pounding the crap out of each other as soon as the puck drops. This is going to be a wake-up series for the Rangers. I'm not saying I'm with you. Mm-hmm. It's going to go 7. I'm going to go with the Rangers in 7 mainly because I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt here that they're gonna wake up and they're gonna try. It's gonna be a low-scoring series.
Mm-hmm. It's going to have to be because if they break through the one thing the Rangers do better or as good as any team in the league, if they are able to break through what I like to call the new Big Blue, it's because the Rangers were never really a tight defensive team in their history.
But they're big and physical, and they're both really, really physical teams. It's going to be a fun series.
They block shots. They are willing to sacrifice themselves for shots.
And if it comes down to a battle of goalies, this might be the first time. I'm gonna take Lundqvist over the great Martin Brodeur.
Well,
in this point in time,
I don't think Lundqvist adds up to Brodeur's career overall.
Well, no, not career, but I mean, I'm gonna take in your prime Lundqvist over a 40-year-old Brodeur right now.
Sure, absolutely, and he hasn't played poorly by any means.
No.
Yeah. I think the rest probably benefits him more than anybody else on that team.
Oh,
the younger guys, not so much. But I think
he's probably rubbing down with Ben Gay right now.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I would be. I mean, but the thing is, like, even with this game, I know you probably didn't get that from the highlights. I mean, Ovechkin. I mean, he scores 1 goal in this game. It's different. They're in overtime and they're losing. Even in this game, because most of these games, or I think everyone except this one. I think everyone except Game 6 has been a 1-goal game.
Yeah.
And I was doing a little research, and the Rangers have not had a 3-goal lead since they beat the Flyers back in February. That is unbelievable. I mean, everybody says, well, it's postseason jitters or something. No, first of all, we're deep in the postseason now. Yeah. We're very deep in this tournament or this series or whatever you want to call it. They've been doing this all season. They have been putting their fans on edge. They've been making everybody crazy. The only person that seems mildly comfortable with it is John Tortorella. But, I mean, they've been doing this all year. And how much longer can you do this? I mean, you have to score.
As long as you can.
You have to score, though. They have nobody on the team that can score. Nobody's scoring in this team.
I'm not saying you're wrong. Yeah. But you know what? That's the great thing about the playoffs. Matchups make victories for some teams, and I think that this is a good matchup for the Rangers.
I think it's a
better matchup for the Rangers than it is for the Devils.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. I think the Devils are going to be coming in really cocky, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Rangers walk in Game 1 and punch them in the mouth.
Really?
Because I think, I'm not saying it's going to be a.
They'll punch back. The Devils will punch back. I mean, they're not.
Okay,
they hate each other.
It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a crazy series. But I can just see it happening because I think you're absolutely. The Devils are going to be thinking they're top dog.
You think?
They got to feel confident. They saw what the Rangers just struggled with in 7, and they just walked through the Flyers.
They did.
And
the Flyers are not a bad team. I know we got problems.
I think you totally overestimated the Flyers.
Kidding. Well, I must have. You're right.
Walking dead out there. There's a little plug for my favorite TV show.
Okay. No, I think you're right. I don't think they're a bad team, but I think you're going back to say they're flying off of emotion. I mean, first of all, you turned out to be 100% right. Yeah. I really think that's probably the only way the Rangers are able to, if they can throw the Devils off their game with some kind of emotional series that just turns it into the Rangers' fashion, sort of if you want to make a baseball analogy, when Roger Clemens threw that piece of wood at Mike Piazza. and
one of my favorite moments in baseball.
They never recovered from it. The Mets never recovered from it. I could see if something weird happened with the Rangers, then the Rangers could maybe even dominate. But I just don't see that happening. I mean, they are an experienced hockey team. They know what they're doing. Yeah, they haven't been in the Eastern Conference Final in a while, but I mean, it's so hard to get to the NHL playoffs. They're a good hockey team. They got a lot of depth. They got more scoring than the Rangers. That scares me. So it's basically like this. If it's a low-scoring series, the Rangers will probably put it out in 7. If the Devils can break through, There is no way, because no one is scoring. Even in the game, even in the Washington game, you saw Richard score. It had to be a perfect screen, a perfect shot, and perfect everything. And Holtby never saw the damn puck till it went behind him.
Yeah,
everything had to come together.
That was...
The stars had to align. Now, it was a great play, and the reason it happened is because they were. I mean, they played all 60 minutes. Every one of those players played all 60 minutes. I like that. And, we were listening to Melrose before, and he says, well, if they can do that the rest of the series, who says they can do that the rest of the series? Who can freaking play 17, 18, 19 games like that? How much longer can this go before, kind of the horses are running out of steam?
As with anything, you go for as long as you can. Mm-hmm. I think there's three main storylines that we can take away from round 2 going into to the third round of the conference finals.
Sure.
One is the greatest story in the playoffs so far. Holtby, what a great story that we get to come out there, and hopefully he'll be the goalie for the Caps.
That story's not over though either. He's got a lot to prove. It's not like the Rangers made him stand on his head.
No, but at times, man, he looked great. I think that you have to give him the benefit of the doubt going into next season.
I liked him. I like the fact. I love his demeanor. I think that's a value. I mean, if you've just got low blood pressure like I assume Holtby has, I can't imagine that couldn't be any better for a goaltender. Yeah. He didn't show any emotion until he actually saw Lundqvist when they baked the hay. He actually smiled, which shocked me. But yeah, Holtby has to be happy with his performance, and maybe they got a goalie there.
It's very possible.
But we don't know. There's a lot of. The Raiders don't have anybody who can score, so you don't know. That's another thing.
We'll know real soon next season.
Yeah, sure.
I think the second story is the Ovechkin factor. What is going to... we were talking about it earlier. Mm-hmm. What was the deal with his minutes? You say it's just that the whole buying defensively. Mm-hmm. I tend to agree with you. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt because I don't know nearly as much. You've probably forgotten more about hockey than I know. So... I don't know if... I thought he was hurt. I don't know if that's the case. You certainly don't think so, and you're probably right on that.
I know it. I know it for a fact now. It's basically come out. I think your theory...
I get that. We'll see what happens next season if that's going to continue to work. You can't... how would the Heat look if they let LeBron James play 20 minutes?
Terrible. Well, you got to wonder, is Dale Hunter at home tonight, is he thinking to himself, was it really such a great idea to put a ball and chain on possibly the greatest hockey talent I've ever seen in my lifetime, with the exception of Wayne Gretzky? Yeah, he's not totally proven yet, but he does play in a different, better defensive era than Gretzky played in. Was it really a good move to do that? It seems like, minus the neutral zone trap, it's more about blocking shots now. It seems like everybody's trying to do like the 1995 Devils thing, win with a system. Hockey... I get that, and I think based on your personnel, you got to decide what kind of system you want to play. But, it doesn't make sense to have a player like Ovechkin and make him Stefan Matteau or Brian Noonan. It doesn't make any sense to me. Now, look, Dale Hunter probably forgot more about hockey than I know, but you got to wonder, putting a leash on this guy, was that the smartest thing in the world?
His minutes are one thing, but I felt it was more telling the way that he was playing, and that's the reason why I thought he was hurt to begin with, is the way he was playing. He wasn't playing like Alexander Ovechkin. He was playing more like Sidney Crosby.
He was playing like a sniper, and actually I think Crosby played better.
He wasn't getting into the parts of the ice that he usually does.
He wasn't allowed to. He wasn't allowed to. That's not the system.
I don't know how any coach could do something like that. Say, hey, don't play to your strengths. Yeah, I play to the team strengths over your own, and even though it's going to be a detriment to the team. I don't know. If Dale Hunter's sitting there thinking about it right now, he's sitting there with a damn bottle of Jack in one hand and a 45 in the other. Should I bite this freaking muzzle right now?
Well, first of all, it has happened.
Stupid. If that's the case, it was just stupid.
It was just stupid? Yeah, it didn't work. If it worked, we're having a different conversation. But
then he's a genius.
Yeah, then he's a rocket scientist. Yeah, I put a ball and chain on Alexander Ovechkin and won the game. Yeah, okay.
And there's one more storyline that we can take away from this series. I finally missed a prediction. I was...
you went 2 for 2, right?
Well, I was right on the pick in the other series, in the King series. I didn't have the games, but I was 3 out of 4 as far as winners. Mm-hmm. Because the Caps let me down.
Yeah. So you got like 2.5.
Yeah, I'll take it.
2.5. You get a half point for getting the team right. You get a half point, so you got 2.5 to 0, and oh Jesus, dead zero. Dead zero. I'm not making that mistake again. That's the last time I try the hockey analysis bullshit. I'm better with going with my gut. And God, I'm just disgusted with myself. I wanted to take LA. I wanted to take LA because I remember saying to my girlfriend, I'm like, look, this team, I've seen this before. I've seen these 8 seed. I remind me of the Pittsburgh Penguins, and they're all making these comparisons to the '93 Kings. It reminds me of the '93. Was it '93 or it reminds me of the '92 Pens. They barely made the playoffs. Of course, they had Yager, Stevens, Murphy, Coffey, and well, not if they had Coffey. They might have traded him by then. And Lemieux, Yager, that whole crowd. That was a little different. I mean,
those were just a couple of hockey players.
They struggled to make, those guys. Yeah, just those guys. I mean, but going back to what you're saying before about, there has been teams in the past that have changed players completely. Kevin Stevens, the New Jersey Devils, came up through St. Louis as an offensive defenseman. When they got a hold of him in New Jersey, they completely changed his game. Now, he could lead the rush, and he had a wicked slap shot, but his primary job was moving guys out of the crease, and nobody was better at it. He was a tremendous defenseman. And they completely changed his game. Now, here's the thing. It worked. In 1995, the Devils won the Stanley Cup with virtually no star power whatsoever. They really didn't have an offense, and Jacques Lemaire had them in a system, and it worked. Now, they made rule changes because of that team. And the NHL panicked during the late 90s because the goal scoring went down because Jacques Lemaire's system was just so airtight. Don't put it past egomaniacs, and I don't know if Tortorella and I don't know if Dale Hunter are egomaniacs for a fact. I mean, it might come off though. But these coaches, they need to be in control because at the end of the day, it's like your manager. He needs to go to his boss and say, "Hey, look, this is what I did." Because if I go in and I don't do anything, and even if we win or lose, they're going to say, "Well, you didn't do anything. We just gave you a good team." So don't think for a minute. Now, I don't know what the Hunter's thinking. I don't know what the Rangers sort of have the same problem. Tortorella is not letting any of those guys off the leash, but I mean, he doesn't have a player like Ovechkin, so I mean, maybe that's the right move. But I don't know how much longer. And this is where I'll leave it. I don't know how much longer they can go on. I know they're a good hockey team, but you can't. I think that's going to be the story for the Rangers. They're a very good hockey team. They're Stanley Cup capable, but they just play too many games because this one goal shit is just it's just too wearing on the players. These guys look tired. If they're not tired, they're the most well-conditioned team in history.
Well, let's hope that's the case for your sake.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I've never been so angry after a Game 7 win.
Yeah, you're pissed off. That's
I'm aggravated.
I think it's great for everything.
Oh, sure.
You're the Tommy that we all know and love.
Oh, well, that's great.
Pissed off, surly, and possibly sleep deprived.
I'm an angry malcontent. It's obviously that's the case. And you know what? I've had enough of putting a smile on things. I'm happy with the Rangers. I think they did what they could, but I've seen it before. They can't. And that leads me into my next. Here's the team, though, I think that is going to win the Stanley Cup, Kyle. The LA Kings are going to win the Stanley Cup. No one's stopping this team. Nobody's stopping this team. This team they are on fire. And they're scoring, they're skating, they're playing D. They possibly have the best goaltender in the league. He has a bad game last night, and they still win. So, I mean, who's stopping the Kings? And they've played the least amount of games. And I said in one of my earlier vlogs that the teams that win Stanley Cups, they got hot goaltenders, and they dominate their first and second round teams. And that's exactly what the Kings have done. Who's going to beat them?
Yeah, they look like the Germans marching through France right now.
Yeah.
They're on a mission. I was picking the Coyotes, and but you have made some really compelling arguments, but no more compelling than Game 1. Mm-hmm. The Coyotes they don't look like they belong right now. They played so great in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, and I don't know. The Kings, you're right. They look like they're on a mission. And they look like a freaking juggernaut.
Yeah, who's going to stop them? Are the Rangers going to
stop them? Unless they freaking get kryptonited it looks like they're going to go unscathed.
The only way they lose is if they're playing over their heads and the fluke ends. But that's 2 series in a row. They win last night 3-2. And
4-2.
Was it 4-2? I had empty net. Yeah, I don't count the empty net goals.
Number's a number.
Yeah, it's just a number. Yeah, okay. So they scored Morty goals. I mean, how are the Rangers going to deal? How are the Rangers going to deal with? They couldn't even deal with Ottawa's speed. How are they going to deal with the Kings' speed?
But now the question is, has anyone hit them in the mouth yet?
That's true.
Have the Kings been really hit in the mouth yet?
Well, the Coyotes should be able to do that.
They haven't played enough games to know that.
The Coyotes should
the Coyotes are going to do this, but we don't know for certain.
The Coyotes should be able to do that. They are a tough team, but they got nobody.
That's everybody else.
Yeah, well, true. No, the Coyotes get there. They're going to win a game or two. They're gonna knock. They're a tough team and they're a bit dirty too. They're gonna. Yeah, right. Yeah, ask more. Post.
Tell me.
Yeah, ask Hope how he feels. He doesn't. He thinks he's a piece of bread this week.
Yeah, he has no idea what's going on. He still thinks that
he's watching the 1993 Stanley Cup Finals.
He is. He's talking whatever language he talks, and he's probably talking it wrong.
Probably. But I think the Coyotes.
Excuse me. Whoa. Hello.
The Coyotes will. The Coyotes will. They'll punt. They'll hit them hard. But you know what? Here's the problem with the Coyotes, and they held the puck really well last night. They controlled it for the most part. They don't have anybody who can score like the Rangers. Nobody can put it in the net over there, and that's the problem. You're gonna find out that you need guys that put that black thing past the goaltender. That's what you need to win. I don't care what your system is. The bottom line, you have to have more goals than the other team. It's really simple.
It's like going to a club in Germany. I'm kidding. That was a really bad joke. That was a really bad joke.
Yeah, well, but one day, my younger days, it was absolutely true. But
still funny.
Yeah, you're right.
It might be a tad racist, but it was still funny.
We're really beating on Germans today, aren't we?
And we're beating. Well, you know what? Everybody else has, so we might as well.
Yeah, it's just beat on. Yeah, I'm gonna hear this from my girlfriend later. Believe me. Oh.
I'm married to one.
Oh, that's right. You're married to a German. I'm dating a German.
And I'm Polish too. I'm in a lot of trouble here.
Vancouver? I thought you were Dutch.
Well, it was Van Kursky. Everyone thinks I'm Dutch, but it was Van Kursky at one point. That's a long story. My grandfather didn't want to be called a Pole, so I ain't changed the name. But yeah, I'm a big fat Polish guy.
Well, good move. Good move on his part.
I think it was smart. Smarter than I'd give most Polish people.
Well,
what's wrong with me today?
Isn't everybody in Chicago Polish? Isn't that the way it works?
Pretty much.
Yeah, so, okay, so it fits.
Polish are criminals.
yeah, okay.
Oh my God, I'm just offending the world.
Oh, sure. Well, yeah, thanks for that donation politician you gave us, by the way. Wink,
yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah, the whole world thanks you. He's beloved.
Bring back Blagojevich.
Blagojevich. Well, at least you knew he was crooked. He was right.
At least I pronounced it right. I'm happy about that.
Well, yeah, I guess he's Polish too. Come to think of it, right? Going back, let's not lose track here and bash Chicago politicians. The most corrupt city the most corrupt. It is the most corrupt city on the planet. The FBI has 2 favorite spots. It's Chicago and all of New Jersey. So you're in great company.
That's probably why we keep losing. That's kind of why we keep losing stars. It's not. Derrick Rose didn't get an ACL injury. He got shot by a mafia member.
It could be.
Oh my God, Jay Cutler too. It's horrible.
Going back to the Coyotes because we're never gonna end the show. Go back. No, I think they will. I'm taking LA in 6. I think they will find a way to win. I think the Coyotes are a good team. They're gonna have to. Both goaltenders last night didn't have spectacular games.
No.
But
if you have to pick one to rebound, I'm going to go with Quick.
I think they both rebound, actually.
Smith has been great.
I wouldn't be surprised if it went back to a low scoring series. But I think you're going to see a lot of 3-1 scores. Because LA's going to score. LA's going to score, and the Coyotes are going to do what the Coyotes do, and they're going to bat you around and blast you. And then, the LA's going to fly down the ice and put one past Smith. And it won't be Smith's fault. It'll be a defensive breakdown or good hustle on LA's point, on LA's part. And that's what's going to happen in that series. Sorry, Kyle.
Kyle's reign of terror ends this series. I'm going to still go with a little bit of a shocker because that's what I do. I don't think Coyotes win a game. Yes.
Sorry, Kyle.
Get shut out.
Sorry, Kyle. Yeah,
it's
not
over.
A game.
I think the series is already done. The Kings are going to get a lot of rest watching 3 games on the other side.
That could hurt them.
It could hurt them, but you know what? It hasn't yet because they played fewer games than anyone else in the playoffs.
Sure.
And they're rested. They're pissed. It looks like they're pissed. They're playing like lightning fast, angry hockey. They're like, we're the 8th seed.
Well, what's the captain's name of that team? Brown?
I couldn't. You know what? I'll be honest. I went and I looked on the roster just so I could try to sound a little intelligent.
Yeah.
I can only name one person on the damn roster, and that's Jonathan Quick.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's because
everybody else on that team.
Well, everybody knows the goaltenders. You know, I mean, everybody knows it. With the captain, he's kind of scored a bunch of goals. What's his name? Brown, I think his name is. Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I mean, I watched that as a team. I glanced. I'm not a big Western Conference guy. I like the physical stuff. I think but I wonder if we're getting over this defensive era and we're going to go back into a more offensive era, especially if the Kings win. And I also get the feeling with the Kings, because I don't know a lot of the players, I'm not super familiar with all of them, that there may be, because of the market they're in, not that it's a small market, but it's not a big hockey market. Maybe there's more stars down there than we all know. And maybe they'll be stars after this Stanley Cup playoff.
It's kind of funny, LA and Phoenix, there's more sun there than anything else. And yet they're both hockey successful.
Well, that's because the NHL thinks they can put a hockey team in Beijing and make money, and they never make money. They don't even make money in New Jersey. But they're gonna put hockey teams where nobody likes hockey, and it's gonna work out for them. And it's been working fantastic for the last 30 years.
There's certain cities that any sport's going to work in. I mean, hell, the Galaxy are popular in LA. I mean, LA, they don't care what their sport is.
The Galaxy's popular in LA because...
And soccer's not popular at all in the States. So
not so. It's getting better all the time, but they have a huge Mexican community.
God help us, I hope not.
They have a huge Mexican community. They have two teams in that arena. They have, I don't know, some Mexican knockoff team from the Mexican Premier League. I can't remember their name right now. And they have...
I don't want to even try to name a name if it'll just sound racist and condescending.
Well, no, I'm not. I like soccer.
I don't. I think it's the worst thing since lesbianism.
So you don't have opinion on Bayern and Bayern Munich and Chelsea? I think it's tomorrow.
Who? What? Who's that? What's that?
That answered my question.
Yeah, I know Chelsea. Yeah. I knew a Chelsea in high school.
Yeah.
That's as close as I know Chelsea the club, of course. But no, I don't have an opinion on it at all because you shouldn't use your feet that much the way I look at it. You shouldn't be kicking stuff. It's not good. Ask that Turkish boy you were telling me about.
Yeah, I bet he likes it. He wants to play hockey, I heard.
No, he wants to be the ball.
He's
in soccer.
He's starting off right. And he's learning the way life goes, that's the way it is.
From all sides.
People will kick you from all sides if they can get away with it.
Yeah.
Unless somebody else comes in and says, knock it off!
Yes, unless some big, loud American starts screaming at everybody.
And how often, that was like...
Wow! Have you thought about the political ramifications of what you did just like on a global scale? That's kind of what we do.
Yeah.
Big and loud and knock it off!
Knock it off. Yeah, that's true. Maybe it was my years of army training that got me involved. Hey, leave that guy alone. Yeah, but the thing here's also the real world. What are the odds of that happening? Pretty slim. You better learn how to explain yourself better or scare people. That's what I say to that kid.
And unfortunately, the latter has become true. He might be the same kid who does bring a gun to school someday. So it's
sure. I
don't know. That being said, Germany is awesome as far as that kind of stuff. I read something interesting, not for nothing. I just real quick. It was such an interesting stat to me. I have to throw it out.
Sure.
In 2011, the German police only used 87 bullets on people.
Really?
87. They used over 8,000 on animals, but only 87 on people. I think that's incredible.
That's an incredible stat. Yeah,
there's some departments.
That's a good goal
that use 87 bullets a day.
Yeah.
In the States.
How many people were killed by those 87 bullets? Did they say that? Two. What a bunch of lousy shots!
No, they go for the kneecaps and they beat you to death with a baton.
They're lousy shots.
I've been hit one of those. That does not feel good.
The baton thing?
No, yeah.
I never had that
honor. It's not fun.
Not honor. No, New Jersey cops just humiliate you and make you stand there forever like a moron and
they
ask
do.
you a bunch of dumb questions.
And never refuse to come to a blood test because they will take your blood.
Yeah, they'll just take it anyway.
They do.
They might not even show it to anybody, but they'll take it.
They beat the crap out of you, and then they take it.
Yeah.
Either through a syringe or off the ground, they're taking it.
They're taking it one way or another. Well, good for them. I just, maybe they need to hit the range. I don't know.
Maybe. That's a range.
Okay, our last and final. I think we've had enough. So you got Coyotes and you got Kings.
I got them sweeping. I got the Kings sweeping.
You got Kings sweeping. That would be incredible. And I tell you something, I don't care who gets through the Western Conference. You got to be really, well, Jesus, who are we playing? The Rangers and the Devils would be that would be just terrifying going up against a team that's swept.
It would only be really bad if your name was Kyle.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's. Sorry, Kyle. Hey, where the hell is he from? Isn't he from the Midwest? And since when did he become a Coyotes fan?
I don't know. He's a Miami Dolphin fan, so there's already something wrong there.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. It's Kyle. Wherever he was born, it doesn't matter because his nose ended in another state anyway. So yeah, I went there.
Hey, he's a good hockey player. I mean, he's good. I'm not a good hockey player. He's a good poker player.
No, he's not.
No, he's a good poker player.
Don't lie on that, man.
I don't know. I lost a lot of money to him, so he's a good poker player.
Well, probably every dollar you lost to him, I took off of him. So. Thank you, then. I guess that's the proper thing to say.
Hey, Sergeant Kyle Gabrick, we miss you here in Wiesbaden. Just wanted to let you know.
He misses you. I don't.
But all right, let's go on to the final series. New Jersey versus my New York Rangers. I'm going to let you start off on this.
Well, I'm gonna stick with what I was gonna go with originally. I'm gonna take the Rangers in 7. Just for I think that hopefully they're gonna wake up. It's gonna be a physical series. If we thought the potential was there for the Penguins and the Flyers, oh boy, this could be nasty. It has the makeup to be nasty because these two teams just don't like each other.
Yeah, they don't like each other, though, but they're deep in the playoffs now. And doing something stupid could hurt. It could go one of two ways if you did something really stupid. And I think the coaches don't like each other more than the players.
Yeah.
That's different. That's from what I hear. But yeah, I mean, the emotional impact. Well, the Rangers don't play an emotional hockey game, so I mean, I don't know how that would work.
Maybe they need to.
Maybe that'd be enough. That could go one of two ways. They could either shut down because they're tired, or they could be like, I hate these guys and I can't let them beat me. It's just that the thing about an emotional series kind of scares me. Because if we're right, I tend to think it won't be an emotional series. I think they'll be bygones will be bygones. They're gonna be looking to win a hockey game. Yeah, I think they'll be looking to win a hockey game.
Do you think anyone's gonna be squaring up in this one?
No, huh? I think the fights are pretty. Look, that first round of the playoffs, I've never seen anything like that in as long as I've been watching hockey. All those fights.
It slowed down in the second round.
It did. So. Well, it probably because Shanahan got involved, but I mean that had a lot to do with it. But I even with the fights, the intensity didn't go away in any of the series. The fights went away, and that's normal for the NHL. And I just can't believe that these guys would just start throwing punches. And you know what? I don't even know that if it was a good thing for the Rangers, then I'm all for it. But I don't see that being a good thing. That's why I'm taking the Devils in 4.
Whoa!
No, I'm not taking the Devils in 4. What are you nuts?
You just made me waste a whoa.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I'm fat. That could kill me.
Yeah. Devils in 4.
Like
Yeah. Well, I'm down in the Rangers, man. I don't care. They win. I'm mad. That's great. I mean, I'll probably. You know what? There was one thing about them losing on Saturday. Then I was like, well, you know what? My picks will be a lot better on the show because I'll be able to focus. I'm also taking the Rangers in 7. I think, and it's just because I can't bring myself to go for the Devils. It's just a sin. I grew up in New Jersey. I had to listen to a bunch of crap from a bunch of lousy pricks in high school, and it was nothing better than in 1994 to come down to go to class and dance on top of the desk and act like a jackass. It was a real relief. So I really can't bring myself to root for the Devils. And what do? The very next year they won the Stanley Cup, and I was hoping it would be 50 years for them too. But I think it's really the only way. I think there's something I'm missing with the Devils. There's something wrong with them that I haven't picked up on, and I think that's the only way the Rangers are going to win. That we're going to look at game 1 or 2 and go, oh, that's what's wrong with the Devils. We'll be fine. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think I think they'll probably. I wouldn't put money on the Rangers. I got to be honest with you. I just can't bring myself to root against them. That's it.
I definitely wouldn't be putting money on either one of these teams. It's going to be a great series.
I hope so. Or these are other possibility. Rangers are just exhausted.
It's very possible.
It's not unrealistic. It's not unrealistic that they just show up and there's just nothing there. There's nothing in the tank. And there's already nothing in the tank for as far as goals go. So what makes you think they can get physically tired? They can't score goals and they're tired. How do the Devils lose? I don't know.
Hopefully we'll find out.
Yeah. I don't know.
For the sake of our picks,
I put money on the Kings. I wouldn't put them on 4, but I put money on the Kings. I'm putting
money on 4 on the Kings. I'll do it.
Are you really? You gonna put money 4 on the Kings?
Only if Kyle wants to put money on 4 on the Kings.
I'll bring Kyle on the show if you put 4.
Yeah.
I'll bring Kyle on the show in a finger snap. That would be
phone lines.
If he can get, I don't know. He probably needs a headset because phone would be difficult for him with that nose of his, right?
It would be impossible for him. There are some rooms that aren't equipped for his nose.
That's terrible. I can't believe I said that. I've never said one lousy. I pick on everyone. I've never said one lousy thing about somebody's physical features.
And everyone out there who doesn't know who we're talking about, I don't care. This is our show. We'll do
we'll do what I want. Go listen to another stupid show.
Yeah.
Go
drink your coffee in Starbucks and listen to someone else for a while.
Or add Kyle to your Facebook page and get a good laugh.
Yeah, there you go. At BigNoseKyleGabbard.Facebook.org and have some fun.
Well, maybe that's why we'll win too, because Gabbard. He's got the same name of one of the Rangers that can't score that's paid like $1 million to score every year.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Oh, I think we've had it.
Yeah, I think we've exhausted everything we could on this one.
Yeah, sure. And we talked about things we probably shouldn't have.
That's okay though.
We're in the 41-minute mark, by the way.
Awesome.
All right, everybody. That was our final. Say goodbye, say hello, say all right. I'm freaking tired. I don't know about you, Dave.
Now I'm up. I was tired.
Now you're up.
I'm awake.
I'm exhausted. I need to go to bed to get up in 5 hours to make sure I'm still legal here in Germany. And to do all that good stuff. And let me tell you something. There's nothing more fun than riding German buses and trying to get on base a bus that barely goes there like every 2 hours. It's really a blast. Let me tell you. Yeah. You try the bus system. It's fantastic.
I would like to try my stair system in my freaking house. I don't leave. I'm a prisoner.
You're a prisoner? No, maybe I'll have to come over there and invade, because I got the NHL game package, and we can put that on your television.
Oh, that would be good times.
Yeah, we got to talk about that. Hey, thanks everybody for listening. I hope you had a good time. I hope you had a laugh or two, and I hope the Rangers are able to at least compete with the Devils, because otherwise I'm gonna. Well, I won't cry on the show,
No, you'll cry to me, and then I'll make fun of you on the show.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Actually, I probably wouldn't cry either way. I'd cry if they look. No, I wouldn't. I'll tell my crying story another time.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening. See ya.
Oh, wait.
What you got?
Shut up, Kyle.
Shut up, Kyle. Peace.
All right.